Hi everyone, it's me, Noxy, and welcome, I hope you can hear me, to my first ever Hangout, or Google Hangout thing. Um, this is the first time I've tried this, so I don't actually know if it's working or what it's actually doing. So you have to bear with me on this one. It's new for me, a new experience, a new venture, as they say. But the idea is that I thought I would spend some time just to quickly, well, to thank you guys really. Um, so since I started since I started out maybe a year and a half ago, I didn't think I would get very far, and I'm not just saying that. I honestly didn't think I would. I sort of sat there and I thought to myself, when I started doing this many moons ago, um, everyone's doing this. You know, I'm not the only one to ever think or sit there and go, you know what, this is kind of this is something that I could do. I could do very well, and as such, you know, I thought to myself, why the hell shouldn't I at least give it a go? So I sat down with my partner and we basically discussed for quite some time, um, you know, the impact on our lives of me pursuing this venture of mine of doing these kind of videos. And um, when I initially started doing them, I didn't think to myself, you know, I'd be the next big thing. I honestly did it. I am still doing it just for the love of it. I absolutely love doing it, and I'm not just exaggerating. I'm not just saying that. I um, honestly mean that. And it's crazy when you sit down and you think to yourself now where you were a year and a half ago. You know, in that year and a half, I've had 320 plus of you check out my videos and basically come and have a chat with me. Um, so yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely mental how much has changed, and how many of you out there just kind of, I don't know, supported me. And I think I need to say thank you now. I know I'm not still big as far as, you know, my videos go, and you know, my subscriber numbers are not as big as some others out there that do what I do. But I honestly, I am madly in love with every single one of the people out there who took the time to check out my videos and come and say hi and communicate with me on Twitter and Facebook, and those of you who've commented on my videos. It's just crazy. And the fact that there's as many of you as there are watching me, watching my videos and supporting what I'm doing, you know, that's just breathtaking. Um, One of my current passions I'm kind of pursuing at the moment, I say pursuing, I don't know if you've seen in any of the social medias of mine, but basically I've been very behind a Kickstarter called for ToeJam and Earl. Now, if you're as old as me, and I say that very openly, if you're as old as me, you will know who Tojo Minolta is. And I say that confidently because back when I used to game on the Mega Drive, you had only a handful of consoles in which you could actually, game on regularly. One of them being, your Mega Drive, or if you had the older Master System. Another being like the N64, which came later than the Mega Drive. Sorry, the NES. I think the NES came around about the same time. But basically, you had what Nintendo and Sega were the two major consoles at the time, and one of the games that really kind of meant something to me was ToeJam&Earl. And when people ask me why, I think they don't honestly believe what I'm saying when I say it. But yeah, the reason why is, well, when my mum was still alive, she and I used to play games together. Now, when I say games, I don't mean fast-paced games. I mean, we used to play games like Lemmings and Columns and Tetris, and basically slower puzzle games that we could just join in with one another and play and enjoy, and we either would work together or you would work against one another. And also Bubble Bobble was a very big favourite of ours. Then for one of my birthdays, my mother bought me a game called ToeJam&Earl on the Mega Drive, and I at that point never heard of it before. It was kind of one of those presents that came from nowhere. There wasn't very much publicity back then, or not much advertising in games as such, not on TV that I remember anyway. I mean, I might have been too young to realise, I don't know, but basically it wasn't always in your face on TV or anything like that I can remember. So when I got games, they were always a surprise, and I didn't quite know what I was getting in most of the cases. And so when my mum brought home for me ToeJam&Earl, I literally had no preconception or idea or understanding of what exactly I was getting myself into at that time. And so when I sat down and started playing it, I didn't realise very quickly it was an incredibly hard game. And no matter how many hours I sort of invested into the game, no matter if I did the fixed routes or the random routes, I just couldn't seem to get anywhere. Because the idea was that you'd get pieces of a ship and you'd build a ship back up and you'd be able to go back to your home planet. And I would only get like 4 or 5 pieces of this ship, and I think there was like 12. I can't remember now the numbers in my head, a little bit ahead anymore. But I mean, I didn't really get that far. I didn't really get anywhere in that game. I just found it so challenging and so hard at the time. Now this is that time obviously my abilities of a gamer was still developing, so a game to really challenge me at the time was quite an extraordinary thing, because I was so quick to mastering complete games at that time, because all I ever did was game. And so when I sat down and actually played ToeJam&Earl, and it was hard, it was just one of those games that I couldn't finish, and it troubled me for actually quite a long time. I think it was actually a couple of years before I actually finally came to that point where enough was enough. So I was actually talking to my mum at the time, and I said to her, you know, about how frustrated I was and how angry I was with this game because I couldn't quite finish it. And she basically said to me, well, why don't we finish it? Now, at that time, as I said, we did a lot of puzzle games, a lot of slow-paced games. So, at first, I was kind of conscious that game was very challenging and difficult. But at the same time, the game was actually well-paced, and it wasn't too fast, and there was a lot of exploration, and you could take your time on each level. So, we sat down that day, I think it was on a Saturday, and we just played it. And we must have clocked some ridiculous amount of hours because I don't remember ever getting up for a break, going to have a cup of tea, anything like that, while we played that game together. And through our combined effort, we actually managed to eventually complete that game. And it was one of those moments in my life I will never forget, because not only did I finish a game that at the time I felt was the hardest game I've ever played at that time, but I did it alongside my mum. How many people can say that? How many people can literally say, me and my mum, we finished this together? I know it sounds a bit weird, and a lot of people are going to probably berate me for this, but like, when you game all your life and you're quite a loner for it, because back when I was a gamer, it was seen as a weird thing. It wasn't like it is now. It was actually kind of like a closet nerd situation where only the really geeky people played games, and unfortunately I was kind of put into that box. So for anyone to play a game with me was weird. Fortunately, I had a younger brother, so we played the games a lot together anyway. But I mean, like, you know, you didn't have that comradeship. I can't even say the word. But like, to then have your parent sit down with you and play this game with you. And, you know, typically parents are always kind of seen as the bad guys in, like, when we were growing up. They were always the ones that were shouting at kids and always telling off kids. So I often say, when people ask me about my mum, I often say she was more a mate than a mum, because she did a lot of stuff to try and keep me entertained and happy as a child. She wasn't like, she had her faults. Everyone does, humans, but she cared, and that was one of her ways of caring. So she sat down with us and she played games with us, and she kind of helped us, and basically that's why I've been very kind of like behind the Table Manol game. I've kind of literally been like, come on guys, we need to get this funded as a community, as a whole. We need to work together. We need to get this done. And too far away from finishing now. I mean, I'm actually, while I'm live talking, I'm just going to quickly check the Kickstarter, just to sort of give you an indication of how close they are right now to completion, because it is again something I am so sure I should finish. They're 359,000 of 400,000, so they're currently like 41,000 away from their goal, which is a lot of money, but can be done. And I think it has to be done. It really does have to be done. It's just awesome. Let me just, I think I've got a viewer. So I'm just going to see. I don't know who it is. So I'm just going to have a quick chat. It could just be me. Could see me as a viewer, I don't know. Sorry about this. Got distracted by the number of viewer go up just then. So at the moment I'm doing a question and answer for a little while and just talking about history and stuff, and all because 300 odd of you decided that you thought I was worthwhile subscribing to and working, and just showing that you think that my stuff is all right. Now I'm not gonna pretend that you guys think my stuff is like amazing, because it's not. It's like everything in this world. It's not perfect, but it's more honest than, well, it's as honest as I can get it to be. So I'm going to mess around with this for a little while. So if you happen to stumble across this and you want to say hello, by all means say hello, if you so wish. I'm still trying to figure this out. This is not an easy thing to figure out, I can tell you that now. They don't make this easy at all. So I'm going to quickly go on Facebook and see if I can drum up some interest from my friends. Ooh. See who I can get to come along. Or maybe I do another one and give people a lot more notice. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, so I won't take any more of your valuable time. I just really wanted to say thank you. And give you a little story, a bit of history. So if you happen to be the kind of person that will buy games that are good, strongly recommend you check out and back THMNL. Totally worth your money, absolutely totally worth it. If you're the kind of person that wants to see something different, unique, maybe not been seen before, subscribe to my channel please. Like my stuff, share it around. I don't do titles that other people do all the time. I do stuff that people may not have heard of before. Also, you can meet and see new games and new developers and new experiences. And if you're the kind of person that likes to tweet, why not tweet me at NoxyV1. So I'm going to end it here. So again, thank you very much. I might do a few more of these in the future, I don't know yet. I'll see how it goes. Yeah, thanks for watching guys. Until next time, I've been Noxy.